Well, a slightly pensive look on Joe Ward's face here. As you would expect, he's up against the world champion. This is a big, big ask for the Irishman. It's going to be a tough fight for him. He's ranked number 6, Joe Ward. Peraza ranked number 2, despite being world champion. So we're underway. 3 3-minute rounds. Cuba's Peraza in blue. Ireland's Ward, who already takes a thumping right hand, is in red.
Well, Ward, a natural southpaw. He's a 3 Nations winner, a 4 Nations winner. Took gold at the European Championships in 2011, and of course, an Irish national champion. Ranked at number 6 in the AIBA world rankings. Well, this is a tough cut indeed. He's up against the defending world champion from Cuba, Julio PERAZA. PERAZA 3 times a national champion, and in Cuba, that's a big deal. And of course, he won gold at the AIBA World Championships in 2011 in Baku. Ward gave a very good account of himself coming through this competition, and particularly in the quarterfinals to be here. But it'll be a good effort for Ward to do well here, because PERAZA, well, may well just give us an exhibition match here.
Now, the thing about Ward, he's only 20 years old. You have to remember that. This is one of the biggest moments of his life right here, and he's taking on the world champion. Not surprising, he's a little bit cagey in the beginning.
Well, it has to be said, the world champion is offering a lot of respect here, having a look-see. Ward has got that great classic stance, very deep in the legs, high guard, and that right hand and the left always ready. And I think the champion's wary of that, because he's getting a kiss of leather as he comes in. He's not having it all his own way. But just look at the relaxed fluidity that you're seeing from the Cuban. So relaxed, just testing the metal every time, just looking for weaknesses. It's the first round, and well, the world champion looks like he's enjoying himself. Big left hand offered up from Ward, and I think maybe that's why the Cuban is just not in that much of a hurry to get engaged and involved. And we're seeing a lot of showboating, but the champion's not landing the shots.
Oh, and a good punch there from Ward. We have just over 10 seconds to go here. A good flurry from either of them could turn it one way or the other. Oh, another good punch from Ward, and he's looking the aggressor here. He's starting to march forward. Julio PERAZA, he looks a little bit cocky there, waving his head around. Did he actually do enough to take the round? You'd expect so, but a good finish from Ward, I thought.
Ward has been absolutely brilliant in this first round. That left hand has been the absolute defining factor for Ward. Look, every time PERAZA's there, Ward drops that left hand in. It's just a warning to the champion that there's always something there to remind you that I'm still here.
Well, let's have a look at the judges' scorecard after the first round. And they've all seen it go the way of PERAZA, the world champion. I don't think that's surprising at all. It's not just about clean punches and aggression. Also technique and form come into it as well. And you saw the head movement of PERAZA. His defense, although it wasn't classic with his hands up, his head movement was brilliant, ducking and diving out the way of anything Ward was really throwing at him. So we get underway then with the second round here in this semi-final of the men's light heavyweight. Joe Ward of Ireland in red, Julio PERAZA of Cuba in blue.
Well, we might see a change of pace here now from PERAZA. The guard's higher, but that said, Ward has stepped up to the plate here, and it's Ward that's closing down the ring, trying to keep the champion on the back foot. That left hand of Ward is a real winner for me. It's a lovely punch he's got. It's classic form. PERAZA working very hard here to find a way in. Catches Ward. Ward having the confidence to go downstairs. And Ward drops the right in. And yep, the champion is very mobile. But when he gets in close, he's finding that Ward is very hostile.
Well, it's interesting, the Cuban's throwing a few body shots here. I think he's trying to get the guard lowered. Joe Ward is holding it pretty high at the moment.
Well, you would do against a world champion. And off he goes on his bike. Perez looking for another way in. Peraza back on his toes again.
And he's got some fabulous footwork, the Cuban. As much as Joe Ward stalks him around the ring, he's finding it very difficult to pin him down at the moment.
It all rests on Ward keeping that guard so high. That's what's causing the frustration for the champion. He just can't seem to lower it. And actually, the arm length and the reach of Ward is quite substantial. But because of that orthodox guard keeping it close, his elbows are protecting the midsection. The champion can't get in. He's got to go for the head now, and he can't do it. Ward's got that tight guard like two coats of paint. And the left hand, it's a bit swingy, but it just might lock in. Well, beautiful work from the champion. Ward missing by a wide margin there. The champion making him look slow, making him look off point. And again, that's a factor. It makes the judges look favorably in favor of the Cuban. Well, the champion now starting to go to work. Locked in on the range.
I mean, look how square on he is to Ward. He's offering him a very big target there, hands down by his side. He's hoping that Ward comes lunging in, and then he can go to work on the Irishman.
Well, it's very much a case of come into my parlour, said the spider to the fly. Ward is not obliging him. Those hands are stuck firmly to his chin. Even in those tight exchange, that left hand comes right back up.
So end of round two, and again, Peraza, purely in terms of a great display of defence, head movement, dancing around the ring, owning it. He looked the better boxer there. So it's good to see Joe Ward really trying to take it to him.
Absolutely, and I mean, up against a fighter like Peraza, Ward, you see with that left hand there from the champion, well, in danger of being stopped early on, but he's putting up a great proposition for the champion. This is good boxing.
So it's 18-20 across the board. All of the judges saw it in favor of Peraza again there. So Joe Ward, what does he need? He needs a phenomenal round here. He needs to dominate as it's written for the judges' guide. That would give him 10-8 across the board, or he needs a knockout. And I think hitting the head of Julio Peraza is one of the most difficult things on the planet to do right now. So we're back out for the third and final time in this World Championship semi-final light heavyweight. Joe Ward of Ireland in red, 2 rounds down against Julio Peraza of Cuba in blue.
It's always got to be a decisive win when you come and try and beat a champion. You've always got to lay down the law from the beginning and be emphatic. This is a great proposition he's offering the champion, and for Joseph Ward, it's a good outing. But just look at Julio Cesar de la Cruz Peraza. Absolutely balletic in his movement. Ward still making life difficult for the champion, but Peraza giving us a great exhibition here. And not wishing to use upon De La Cruz. Peraza will cruise this round out and take, well, an easy ride into the finals.
Yeah, that's all he needs to do. Just 1 minute 50. Just hang on in there, stick to the same tactics. He's waving him on. Joe Ward saying, come on, give me a fight. I'm here in the semi-final. I'm here at the World Championships. I've got all the way through to the Final Four. Please, give me something to hit.
And it's interesting, actually, because I don't think the champion wants to oblige him. Ward, well, this wasn't a walk in the park for the champion. He's displaying great skills, but he's not landing big shots on Ward. He's maybe had 2, maximum 3 good connections in terms of hurting Ward, but the champion, you have to admit, is another league.
He's throwing his hand in the air, he's ducking his head forward, he's doing a little bit of showboating now. Not so much for the crowd, just to try and entice Ward on here, but he's not being pulled in, Ward, not yet anyway. But you know what? He really has to. He's got to get stuck in here. He needs to really rock Peraza.
Peraza, an absolute ghost for the young Joseph Ward. I have to say, the chin of the champion has been an absolute enigma to the gloves of Ward. Still not being drawn in. He's listened to his corner, got rocked back there. He's listened to his corner, and I think his corner have said, listen, Joe, if you get involved, you're going to get hurt. Keep your hands high, keep at range. See what you can work off at distance. Less than half a minute left now.
Well, it certainly looks at the moment that Nurmagomedov of Kazakhstan is going to be boxing this tricky Cuban in the final tomorrow, unless Joe Ward can make some magic here in the last 10 seconds.
It's great work from the champion, it really is, and it's a joy to watch.
Well done indeed. The Cuban pumps the air with his fists. And having won the first 2 rounds, he really did look impressive again in the third, though his work rate wasn't phenomenal. Certainly his movement was. He didn't have to work that hard.
Yeah, I think with the 2 rounds under his belt, he was comfortable that he'd done enough, and he came out now and decided he'd put on a display, an exhibition for the crowd. I think it was a good effort for the young Joseph Ward. I mean, that's one for the CV that he's been in the ring with the world champion.
So going on to the final, Julio Cesar de la Cruz Peraza of Cuba, the world champion, will be taking on the Kazakh hero Adalbek Nurmagomedov. 9-10 across the board there in the end, 27-30. The Irish coaches, they look a little bit dejected, but it's an absolutely fair result. Well done.